Hello friends, this is Roxanne, and today, I'm going to recap the 2023 romance comedy anime called Don't Toy With Me Miss Nagatoro, Season 2 Episode 1. Spoilers ahead, watch out, and take care. The episode starts with the president of the student council scolding his secretary for not filling the forum on time. He also threatens her by stating that if she does not do her job properly, he will shut her mouth forever. After some time and being late for her class, Moshiro spots the president cheating on his exam. She immediately takes photos of the scene, which shocks the president. After the exam, the president meets Moshiro and vows to never do this again. Moshiro says she will not tell anyone, relieved to hear this, but Moshiro states she will keep her mouth shut. But the president has to do everything she tells him to do. The scene then shifts back to the present, where Senpai is reading a manga that actually is the story of Moshiro who bullies his president, known as the glass sadist, and slowly starts to mess with him until she becomes a true sadist herself. Hearing it was going to have an anime adaptation, Senpai bought the first volume of a shoujo manga called Love Slave. Reading it, Senpai felt an odd connection with the male protagonist and felt that the female lead kind of reminded him of Miss Nagatoro. Suddenly, Nagatoro arrives out of nowhere. Senpai felt ashamed for reading a shoujo manga and decided to hide it before being found and bullied by Nagatoro. Entering the art club room, Nagatoro shows Senpai the new loafers she bought for herself. She puts the loafers on her feet and asks Senpai how they look, to which Senpai replies that they look good. Noticing he is hiding something, Nagatoro sneaks behind him and takes the manga from his hands. She reveals that she read it too, as she felt a connection to the female protagonist and found it hilarious how she reduced the male lead to tears. Nagatoro then teased Senpai by stating that he will sure get teary-eyed if a girl did this kind of stuff to him. To which Senpai revealed that what's happening to President in the manga is nothing compared to what a certain someone does to him. Felt offended. Nagatoro asks Senpai what happens if she hits him with some slave of love play. Senpai states she can do anything she wants, as no manga skit can mess him up. Hearing this, Nagatoro shows him some rows from the latest volume where Moshiro put some water on her loafers and asks President to clean it with his tongue. Horrified to see the shoelicking play, Senpai states he does not want to end up like the protagonist of the manga, as how scary and cruel AI's character became as the story progressed. Nagatoro joked about doing the same as she took the bottle of water. Horrified at this, Senpai asks Nagatoro not to do this but ends up touching the bottle and spilling the water on her loafers. Shocked, Senpai stands up and bends down to his knees, as Nagatoro blushes and becomes nervous over the idea of Senpai actually cleaning her loafer with his tongue, but Senpai cleans it with his handkerchief. Some time later, Senpai spots Nagatoro while going to school, walking behind her. Senpai tries to approach Nagatoro, but when he gets near her, he quickly falls back, realizing that he never approached her since they had met first and being unable to greet her. Just as he was about to give up, Nagatoro spotted him and began accusing him of being a stalker. She states that as a citizen, she can report this incident to the police, but since she is a nice girl, she will give him a little bit of leeway. Senpai states that he was not stalking her but simply didn't know how to approach her and say hello. Blushing, Nagatoro offered to give him a lecture about how to approach people, but Senpai stated he did not need it as he left her and walked alone towards the school. Suddenly, Nagatoro begins to teach him the various patterns of greetings, starting with the painful pat on the neck, touching his cheek with a finger, pricking him from behind, kicking his butt, and the last one, which she recalls is the ultimate greeting. She hugged him from behind, causing his heart to beat at a thumping speed. Feeling her boobs against his back and her breath on his neck, Senpai gets embarrassed, recalling she is too close to him, but Nagatoro states this is normal for high school girls. Nagatoro asks Senpai to do the same with her, or she would spread the rumor throughout the school that she hugged him and he got an erection. Later, while walking towards the school, Nagatoro tells Senpai he's a total loser. Senpai wonders what kind of expression or reaction he will get if he tries to pat her head with his hand or tries to hug her from behind, grabbing her boobs in the process. Suddenly, he stumbled and fell on her, hugging her from behind and grabbing her right boob in the process. Blushing, Nagatoro hit him powerfully with his butt and made him fall against Gamo-chan and Yoshi, who were coming from the alley in that moment, and Yodi hit him back to Nagatoro. After that, they normally greet each other, to which Sanapi states that Nagatoro was actually messing with him, proving all the forms of greeting illustrated by Nagatoro were lies. Gamo-chan and Yoshi remind Nagatoro of their plan to go to a family restaurant to have an after-party for the culture festival, to which she happily agrees, and they invite Senpai as well. After parting ways with the girls, Senpai and Nagatoro are at the art club room, where Senpai is making a painting of the flower. Senpai thinks about the party at the restaurant, but Nagatoro complains about the AC and how cold the room is, prompting Senpai to reveal that the AC was broken. Hearing this, Nagatoro proudly showed him the black tights she just bought for the winter, surprising Senpai, who commented he didn't expect her to wear something like that since she doesn't seem the type to wear these. Angry at his comment, Nagatoro asks what he means, to which Senpai reveals that girls wear skirts for their uniforms and they have better resistance to catching colds than guys. Nagatoro reveals that girls' fashion required guts in order to wear skirts whether it was a windy or snowy day, but sometimes they simply wanted some warmth. Thinking about not being able to see her bare legs anymore, Senpai let out a sigh, commenting that it couldn't be helped, and saying loudly, "You gotta do what you gotta do." Realizing his feelings regarding her legs, Nagatoro asks Senpai if he is disappointed in not being able to see her bare legs anymore, but Senpai immediately denies. Thus Nagatoro asks Senpai to put the tights on her legs in order to prove he's not obsessed with her bare legs. After that, Nagatoro sat on the sofa and showed his legs. Senpai kneeled and started to do it. Nagatoro teases him again by calling him a slow and virgin. Determined, he slowly approaches Nagatoro's legs and realizes how soft and smooth her skin is. He also imagines that he was putting a radish into a plastic bag with a smooth motion, but noticed that the girl's legs were way smoother, softer, firmer, and suppler than a radish. He managed to ascend from Nagatoro's foot to her calf right up to her thigh. However, as he got closer to her inner thigh, Nagatoro angrily told him to do it in a hurry. Reaching near the girl thing, Nagatoro freaks out and closes both of her legs, causing Senpai's hand to get stuck between her legs and the girl thing. She states that was enough, proceeding to put on the rest herself with the excuse that his hands were way too pervy. After she finished putting on her tights, Nagatoro asked Senpai how she looked, to which Senpai replied that they looked good. Hearing this, she asked if he had a fetish for it, but Senpai quickly denied it. That afternoon, the two meet up with Gamo-chan, Yoshi, and Sakura at an all-you-can-eat sushi restaurant for the after-party. Although at first Senpai suspected the girls invited him only to use him as a slave to take the sushi from the conveyor for them, he surprisingly found out that he was wrong and that they really intended to celebrate him and the success they had at the cultural festival. Then Gamo-chan showed off her special recipe, putting a little of the salmon roe on a salmon oyako, and offered it to Senpai, who complimented her, thus leading all of the girls to do the same. Yoshi put a corn mayo on an hamburg nigiri, while Sakura put uni on top of a shrimp, both being complimented as well. Jealous, Nagatoro tried to make her own special dish, overdoing it and taking half of the roux for a Tarako gun can and placing in it half of the milk from a Shirako gun can to create, in her words, a miraculous meeting between the milk and rice that could get someone's stomach pregnant. This shocked the whole gang, prompting even Yoshi to describe it as disgusting. While her friends scolded Nagatoro for playing with food like that, feeling bad for her, Senpai decided to try it, finding it surprisingly delicious. Roe on a salmon oyako, and offered it to Senpai, who complimented her, thus leading all of the girls to do the same. Yoshi put a corn mayo on an hamburg nigiri, while Sakura put uni on top of a shrimp, both being complimented as well. Jealous, Nagatoro tried to make her own special dish, overdoing it and taking half of the roux for a Tarako gun can and placing in it half of the milk from a Shirako gun can to create, in her words, a miraculous meeting between the milk and rice that could get someone's stomach pregnant. This shocked the whole gang, prompting even Yoshi to describe it as disgusting. While her friends scolded Nagatoro for playing with food like that, feeling bad for her, Senpai decided to try it, finding it surprisingly delicious. And this brings the anime to an end. Comment for part 2. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on another video. Until next time, take care.